Hey guys, and welcome to my special October horror movies special spotlight edition, I guess. I'm not sure if that name's actually going to stick, but well, that's what I got for now. So basically, I'm going to be going over some of my favorite horror films that I have in my movie collection. I was actually thinking of how I was going to go about trying to talk about these specific movies, and I've decided that I'm actually going to break it up into 4 categories. And basically, the first one that I'm going to go over today is the psycho slasher horror films, followed by the paranormal, then creature monster stuff, and finally ending up with zombies. And I know, zombies you can probably, consider as being part of, creature monster, but again, for me, zombies kind of fall into a whole separate category of horror films. And yeah, so is that, because I mean, for those of you that I've seen my videos for a while now, you guys know that I'm a horror, a zombie movie fan. So of course I'm gonna have them as their own separate thing anyway. So, but anyway, as I was looking through, my films to see what I can pull to fit into this category of the psycho slasher, I kind of realized that I don't really have a lot of movies that fit under this category. A couple of them are kind of like more modernistic movies, and something from the classic era. So, but it's not really a lot. So this video isn't going to be really long anyway. And I think most of these videos aren't going to be really that long anyway. So, but anyway, let's get started, all right, guys. So the first film that I had to show you basically is this film called House at the End of the Street, with Jennifer Lawrence, Max Darroch, I believe is his name, and Elizabeth Shue. And basically, it's about Jennifer Lawrence and Elizabeth Shue playing a mother-daughter who kind of move into this small town, into this house where a grisly murder had taken place. And as they try to settle in, the neighbors start trying to get friendly with them, but they start to notice that the neighbors, as they're trying to be friendly, they're kind of acting very strange. And then things really get weirder when they find out that the only living person who survived that grisly murder in the house, which was a son, still kind of roams around the neighborhood. Things even get weirder around him, and especially when the son and Jennifer Lawrence's character start getting to know each other, things really start to spiral out of control, and then it leads into a big reveal. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't want to give anything away if you haven't seen it. If you have, then basically where it ends up. But again, I don't really consider it a horror film, but just the fact of the type of character that the son turns out to be kind of like fits into the role of being kind of maybe psycho-ish. So that's all I'm going to say, and that might be kind of revealing a little bit too much about the plot of the movie. But anyway, this movie's not that recent anyway. It came out maybe about a year or two ago. But anyway, again, House at the End of the Street. The next film that I have to show you is something that I covered in my last video, and that is the film Frankenstein's Army, which I raved about in my last video if you saw it. And basically, it's about these group of Russian soldiers that end up in this town where they're kind of led into by this crazed scientist into these deep tunnels underground, and they're slowly being hunted and killed by these vicious, crazy-looking creature monster type things. And that's pretty much the gist of it. But what I want to get at is the fact that even though this movie's primarily centered around soldiers trying to escape evil creature monster things, the reason why I still would put it as part of the psycho type of genre is the fact that the scientist, he's kind of like a wacko. He ends up getting this grand idea that to create the perfect, I don't know, soldier or whatever, is to take people and kind of like mutilate them and turn them into hideous creatures and that sort of thing. So because he's a crazy scientist, it kind of fits into the genre anyway. But overall, again, like I said, if you saw my last video, I had tons of nothing but positive things to say about this film. Even though it is kind of low budget, but a lot of detail was placed on the design of the creatures and just their look as well. So it's really, really creepy looking as well. So a lot of blood and guts, so definitely something that you should definitely check out if you haven't done so. The next movie that I have to show you basically something that I talked about a long time ago, and it's this film called Excision that I don't think a lot of people actually know about, because it's kind of one of those rare films that just came out and then kind of just went right under the radar. But I found it to be kind of like an exceptional type of film that really fits into the category of weird and psycho-ish, in terms of the lead female character in this film. And just to give you a gist of the plot, basically, it's about this girl that kind of has this weird fetish and obsession with blood and dead bodies and guts, and she tends to do weird things, and it's kind of like she borders on trying to actually commit whatever it is that she fantasizes about, because when you see the sequences of her fantasies, like they're like really wild and crazy, and like what she does if she ever got the opportunity to actually be around blood and guts and dead bodies. So it's like it's really way out there, and then it really goes overboard what she actually does in the film itself, because the character kind of like, she looks like a nerdy type, so she's a bit of an outcast, because she kind of just isolates herself because of her nature and things like that. So she's kind of like, she's very estranged from her family. She doesn't have really a lot of friends, and yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I really want to talk or say about this film without giving away anything else. Because I definitely think it's worth a check out, because it's something really I thought it was really interesting, just for how the actress, I believe her name is Anna Lynn McCord. She really did, a very, very decent job portraying this character of being this nerdy-ish, but then when she has these obsession fantasies, she's like this completely different person, and it was pretty cool, so I definitely, recommend this for a check out, as long as, you're into that kind of stuff with blood and guts of that kind, or you think you can stomach it. So definitely it's worth a check. That's what I would say. And the last film basically that I have to show you is, it's a classic. It's, something that I actually picked up very recently. And it is the 35th anniversary edition of John Carpenter's Halloween on Blu-ray. Again, I'm not really going to talk too much about this film because everybody knows it, It's Michael Myers, Halloween, chasing after Jamie Lee Curtis, and other people get killed along the way as well, so, but... Again, this is one of the classics, and it's the only film that I have to show you in this category that actually fits into not so much the psycho, but more the slasher, part of this particular genre of film. And like I said, I've seen it so many times that I know it so well. It's one of the things that I really enjoyed in terms of well, I think I enjoyed it because it was one of the very first slasher films that I actually got into. Eventually, then I ended up watching, the Friday the 13th and the Nightmare on Elm Street films. But it always started with this particular movie. So when I found out that it was coming out in special edition Blu-ray, and especially as a digibook, and I mean, as you can see, I haven't even opened it yet, so I haven't actually watched to see how the quality is on this version. But again, since I've seen it so many times, I didn't really feel the need or the urgency to do it for this video. So, but anyway, I mean, again, this is definitely a must-own to have in your collection. And if you can find this particular edition, by all means, get it. I actually bought this one at Best Buy, so if you can get it there, if they still have it, definitely get it. If not, even the regular versions that they have on Blu-ray is definitely worth getting, to have in your collection, especially if you're a fan of horror films, especially slashers. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, like I said, it was going to be a really short video, but those are the only films that I had that I actually kind of like felt that they fit into, this first category of psycho slasher films. I mean, I've seen like pretty much all the Friday the 13th films, the classics. I've seen pretty much most of the Nightmare on Elm Street films. I've seen pretty much all of the Halloween films as well. But it's just that I haven't gotten around to buying them yet. I mean, this is the first one that I have, is the Halloween, Blu-ray. But and I know that the Friday the 13th movies were recently released on Blu-ray special edition. I think they come in like a tin, which looks pretty cool. So maybe I might end up getting that at some point. Maybe not. I don't really know. So, but I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. So the way I think these videos are gonna work is that at the end of every week during the month of October, I'm gonna release a video of a new category. So next week it'll be paranormal films that I have in my collection. And we'll move on to creature monster stuff after that, and then zombies. But in between, as in addition to go along with these, I'm probably going to be showing you like mini let's plays of some of my favorite survival horror games that I have. So I'm sure that'll be a lot of fun too. So be on the lookout for that as well, guys. All right. So until next time, take it easy out.